I think one great thing about Star Wars Episode 9 so far is that we will have scenes that actually consist of all of the characters that were introduced in both The Force Awakens and in The Last Jedi. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, we do know that both J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio are all set and ready to deliver tons of twists and turns and surprises to the table for the fans around the world when it comes to Episode 9. But it's not just all about that, it's about action-packed sequences and a lot of action in this movie that is indeed coming our way that's really going to make this film stand out from both The Force Awakens and in The Last Jedi. So, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc. Now, what's really interesting is that this all has to do with Oscar Isaac, John Boyega, Daisy Ridley, Adam Driver, and the male actors in their 20s. Specifically, both Oscar Isaac, John Boyega, Daisy Ridley, and Adam Driver are all set to film a sequence for one of the ending scenes this December over at Cardington. It's said to include a standoff between Adam Driver and the male actors in their 20s, codenamed the Knights, going up against Oscar, John, and Daisy and some extras dressed as Resistance fighters. It's described as a major fight sequence. Tons of set-piece designs will be added to the set in the background described as starfighters, consisting of A-Wings and First Order starfighter designs. Another sequence will involve both Adam and Daisy being flung into the air by use of tons of wirework. Pyrotechnics will also be used at the same time, in which a shot will be filmed involving the male actors also flying into the air just as the emulated explosion goes off. Billy D. Williams and Eunice Watama will be shooting a scene inside of the Falcon in front of a green screen, and it's said that it will be replaced with some point-of-view laser blaster shots inside of a hangar bay, indicating that Lando and Chewie will be helping out inside the Falcon while it is landed in this hangar, also mirroring what young Anakin did in The Phantom Menace. Lastly, a sequence that will also be shot includes Adam chasing Daisy with lightsaber prop pieces in their hands. This sounds like it's mimicking the Anakin and Obi-Wan Kenobi lightsaber duel in Revenge of the Sith, in which they do chase each other for a certain amount of time. So I wanted to go over a couple of points here, because what's really interesting to me is, of course, the Knights of Ren. Do they actually make it to the very, very end of this movie? Now again, this is of course one of the ending sequences. We're not quite sure what's really going to happen to the male actors in their 20s portraying the Knights of Ren. Now I would like to believe that these guys can put up a great fight, but unless they have actual lightsabers going up against Rey, I really don't know what they're actually going to be able to do, unless they are actually Force sensitive, and they are indeed Luke Skywalker's Jedi students that were taken away from him. Could you imagine if the Knights of Ren used the Force to force push other individuals away from attacking them, or something around those lines? That would be pretty epic in my opinion. Now, I really wanted to go over this sequence in which Adam Driver is all set to film, where he actually chases Daisy Ridley throughout this set. And I don't know about you guys, but this most definitely sounds like J.J. Abrams is trying to somewhat mirror that of the Revenge of the Sith lightsaber duel between both Anakin and Obi-Wan. If you guys actually look back, there are a lot of chase sequences in that lightsaber fight, and that's one of the reasons as to why I love that fight so much. It's not just the changing of environments and all that, the changing of sets, but it's also how those two characters chase each other from one location to the other. And that's what made it so exciting, like an emotional roller coaster. And I don't know if they're going to be able to top that lightsaber duel, but we'll have to wait and see. The other thing that I do want to go over is how both Lando and Chewie will have a scene inside of the Falcon while it's actually already landed inside of this hangar bay, taking shots at some of either the Knights of Ren or some stormtroopers inside of what sounds like it's going to be the First Order headquarters base on an unknown world. Now, this honestly mirrors that of what Anakin Skywalker did when he went inside of that base, and inside of his starfighter he started taking blasts at the droids. It reminds me of that. It's like a callback to yet another prequel trilogy moment. Now, the other thing that I do want to go over is, of course, how Oscar, John, and Daisy and some extras will have a standoff between, of course, themselves and the Knights of Ren and Kylo Ren. that's going to be a very medieval-esque vibe to it, and I like that. You know, we do know that Episode 9 is going to have a more heavy medieval tone than ever before in comparison to both The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi combined. Now, that may or may not be a good thing. We'll have to wait and see. As far as everything else goes, this sounds like a very epic, action-packed sequence that's going to be the beginning of the lightsaber duel between both Kylo Ren and Rey. This sounds like it's going to be, I guess you could say, the pretty much other version of the Battle of Crait, except it's going to be done indoors, from what it sounds like. So I don't know what you guys have to say about all of this, but it sounds pretty intriguing to me. I'm pretty excited for this film so far, and I cannot wait to actually see the first set of footage of this movie. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon.